Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 18 of the My Son the Traitor series here on TEW 2020. Today's episode, we are just going to continue straight on pretty much from where we left off. I tried to sort of tweak the product. I'm not going to be able to, for the pure fact that I couldn't really find anything that was going to remain at a similar level, while, still also having the same descriptive sort of product style of what WCW had back in 2001, or the end of WCW, shall we say. So we're going to have to keep it as far as 40%. Is it 40%? Yeah, 40% angles. Sorry, 40% matches, 60% angles for the TV shows, and then obviously the difference for the pay-per-views and the events. But house shows still being held. We're still actually drawing pretty good house shows there, or at least I think they're pretty good. We've got K Crush injured as well. Someone I'd like to actually bring in at some point, I would assume. This show, we're going to try and hopefully get back up to 77 in the Mid-Atlantic and 77 in the Southeast as well. I've already got the main event in my head, sort of booked out for this one. It's going to be a bit of a surprising one as well, actually. Where were we last time? I think we were in the Southeast. So let's go to the Mid-Atlantic. For the go-home show, I'm going to run it in the Tri-State. So that'll be next episode. I'm going to run a show in the Tri-State region, probably in New York, just to sort of stick it to the WWF a little bit. I think it's a good idea, and it will potentially allow me to get Super Crazy over, if that makes sense. Anyway, we're expecting 9,700 fans for this one, so I'll probably just go back to the North Charleston Coliseum, if I'm being perfectly honest. We could go for the Cumberland County Crown Coliseum in Fayetteville, or the Florence Civic Center, also in South Carolina. The Hampton Coliseum, potentially. Well, that costs 20,000. It's only a 10,000 seater. The Roanoke Civic Center potentially as well. I think we'll just go back to the North Charleston. We'll be a bit generic and a bit boring, but it's perfectly fine. But yeah, tonight's main event is going to be a non-title match, and it is going to be Rob Van Dam taking on Lance Storm. You see, I mentioned non-title because Lance Storm is going to win this match. However, it is going to be tainted. And we're going to have outside interference finish onto Rob Van Dam by Chavo Guerrero. During the match, we're also going to have RVD attacked by Mike Awesome. We're also going to have RVD distracted by PCO. And we're also going to have Kevin Steen at ringside. I'm going to keep calling him Kevin Owens. Kevin Steen. I've got to get it into my mind. Try and sear it in there. Anyway, like I said, non-title match. We're going to have a Team Canada promo prior to the match. So we'll have Lance, Mike, PCO, Kevin, and Natty. We'll chuck Tori in there as well. Technically, she's a part of the stable at the moment. Theoretically, she's about to become an even bigger part of the stable. So that'll be our pre-match. We're going to have a post-match angle in here as well, which is going to Got to try and think. What are we going to do for the main event of the Go Home show? I feel like in a way it also needs to have... I might go... Yeah, let's do this. Let's go Booker. Diamond Dallas Page and Rob Van Dam taking on the team of Canyon, Kurt Hennig, and Vader. So I'm going to go everybody on entertainment here, except for Vader. Give that 6 minutes. I'll chuck everybody on success as well because it's going to be a pretty decent angle in the main event. And there's something we can do for that main event next week with Vader it'll sort of greatly aid into what we're doing with AJ and with Samoa Joe. So that'll be good. Anyway, I like that to finish the show. Gets us our main event booked for next episode as well, which I like. All right, let's fill the rest of the card. We can do a 6-man tag, bit of a little throwaway match in which I want to have Mike Awesome, PCO, and Kevin Steen together. I'll get a win. Over the team of American Dragon, Brian Kendrick, and Colt Cabana. Yep. I'll give that 6. Gonna have Kevin pick up the win. The loser can be Colt. Perfect. We'll make that our storytelling match as well. I'll have that a bit further down the card though. Next match. What are we going to do for the next one? I think we go... Part of me wants to give Guido a win. Sort of just like wondering how I can do that. Because he's still not important enough. That part of me really wants to give him a win on the actual show. We also have to do our final tag team match as well. With that being said, I might just do a Vader match. We'll do Vader. Jamie knows his heel. David Flair works. Not even going to make that one open. That can just be a pure Vader match. That'll go there. Can that be... That can probably be the Wild Brawl, to be honest. Alright, so who was the other tag team that we're going to use? Trying to think of who we actually had left. I think it was going to be Anguish, because I couldn't use Super Crazy on this show. So, let's go for Anguish. And they can take on... Do I do Jindrak and Stasiak? Probably not. Young Dragon's already in. We've got Romeo and Skipper. We can go the fully blooded Italians, to be honest. We can do it this way. So I'll have Super Crazy get the win over Smothers. That would be open script decisive. And then I'm going to have a distraction onto onto Guido by Johnny the Bull, which then causes... Yeah, so Guido... So Tracy Smothers is in the ring, goes to try and tag Guido. Johnny the Bull comes down, distracts Guido. Guido doesn't make the tag, therefore Smothers loses the match. And they lose that qualifier with Anguish going into the pay-per-view triple threat match. I like it. That's a good match, and I think that can actually... I mean, Smothers, not exactly a high flyer, but everybody else in the other competitors are very much high flyers. So it's a little bit unfortunate. All right, what else have we got? So that's done. We'll chuck an angle after that match as well with Johnny the Bull. Johnny, Little Guido, Tracy Smothers. We'll go with double entertainment for those two. Everybody gets a little bit of success in the storyline as well. I mean, Smothers can probably talk, but maybe we just leave it. So that'll go there. The 3v3 is Team Canada. Therefore, I can pretty much put an angle wherever I want in there. Just looking at it. Probably go a Dustin Rhodes angle, to be honest. A nice, simple one. Have Shane McMahon be off camera. Cool. We'll chuck that a little bit further down. That's perfect. What else have we got? Let's give Stasiak a match. Maybe Stasiak versus Punk. What faces have we got? We'll give him maybe Lash LaRue. Yeah, we'll go Punk. Stasiak with the win. I'm going to have DDP at ringside. It's essentially going to be like a fourth color commentator down there. That's the way I'm going to see it. So he's at ringside, sitting next to the commentators. And then I'm also going to have DDP cut an angle on him as well. Actually, they can go back and forth. And that'll go pre-match. So it's going to be unscripted, a little bit risky, but it's perfectly fine. We need cruiserweight stuff as well. Let's have Skipper take on... Where is he? Shane Helms. We'll give that 8 minutes because it's going to be the high fly match. The high spots, there we go. Non-title. And then we need angles. We need a lot of angles. So we're going to kick it off with Shane McMahon onto Dustin Rhodes off screen. Kick the show off that way. Other angles. We need something for Chavo. We need something for Buff as well. I might literally just give Buff an angle by himself, to be honest. I'll put it on Super Crazy, have him be off screen, because we're going to continue with this into next month. Purely for the fact that I need Super Crazy in the World Tag Team title storyline. And sort of like impromptu booking as a result of the injury to Chuck Palumbo with them relinquishing. I actually have to do that. I haven't actually done that yet. So we'll save that. That'll go after that one. pretty nice. So I need to make sure I don't want a repeat of last episode where we got penalized for having too much match time instead of angle time. So we really need to focus on that. Chavo, we need a Chavo angle as well. Chavito onto Rob Van Dam. Let's have a double entertainment for both of them. Chuck that a little bit further down the card. Yep, perfect. What else? I can have a Shane Helms angle with Shannon Moore. Actually, let's have Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous just beat him down after his match. So beaten down by a 3 count. And that's going to be post-match. I like it. Up 1. Kill. All right. We would not be penalized if I ran it now. We do have another 10 minutes though, so theoretically I can put in another angle. What do I put in though? I mean, Hennig's in there. Is there anyone I'm sort of missing that's... I suppose I could maybe do an angle for... D'Lo and Chaz? Or do I do an angle like this? Let's do this instead. So Chuck and Sean O'Hare come to the ring and relinquish the titles. Relinquish, I think that's how you spell it. The World Tag Team titles. Typing with one hand here. Cool. Do I do something with Sean O'Hare potentially, and have him face someone he could face Buff at the pay-per-view? That would actually be a good match. Let's do that instead. At least for this month. I know it's like thrown together very quickly. But I'm gonna have Buff in here, and he's gonna come out and interrupt. I know he's already got an angle for this show by himself. But I want to have that out here. I want to have that... Where's the actual tag team match? Down there. I can have it in between the Chavo angle. I think that'll actually look pretty good. Sweet. Well, there we go. That's the show. And we're at 50%. So again, we will not be penalized. We'll just save it there. Can we actually have them? I guess I'll do it after the show. So that way we only have 1 week without an actual champion, if that makes sense. Because if I do it now, it's at 59. It might potentially lower the prestige of it. Whereas if we have just 1 week without the titles being defended, it might be a little bit better. So I'll do that instead. We'll do some pre-show stuff as well. We'll have AJ. Let's do a 6-man. Let's have Booker, AJ, and Samoa Joe taking on yeah, we can chuck Buff in there. It's only a pre-show match. It's really not gonna matter too much. And I think I will chuck Shannon Moore in there. Give AJ the win. Loser can be Jindrak. Really too fast, two losers, but prefer it not to be Buff. Again, on the pre-show. Next match, have Chavo and Dustin team up to take on Lash and Jet. We'll give Dustin the win there. I think Chavo already has really good momentum. Pretty sure he does anyway. So there we go. And we'll go another pre-show. Who have we got left? Probably do another tag match, to be honest. Probably do a 6-man, to be honest. Being perfectly honest. Said honest about 10 times there. Let's go with... I probably want to go Johnny the Bull. Yeah, let's go Johnny the Bull and Lowdown. And they can take on... Go Sanders and Young Dragons. Cool. Nice. All right, that's our pre-show. A little bit of refereeing change. Lovely. Honestly, I think that looks like a really good show. And we're not going to get penalized either. I've checked it about 5 times now. Alright, so we kick off the pre-show with a 54 rated match. Johnny the Bull and Lowdown defeating Mike Sanders and Young Dragons in 11:43 when Johnny the Bull pinned Kaz Hayashi with a diving leg drop. Good stuff. Second pre-show match getting us a 61 where we have Chavo, Guerrero and Dustin Rhodes defeating Jason Jet and Lash LaRue in 11:33 when Dustin pinned Jet with a lifting reverse DDT. Lash LaRue off his game. And the pre-show main event getting us a 65. We have Booker T, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe defeating Buff Bagwell, Mark Jindrak, and Shannon Moore in 12:25. And AJ pinned Jindrak with a spiral tap. Is it a spiral tap or a spinal tap? I honestly don't know. Anyway. And as per usual, the poor form there for the Buff. Alright, we kick off the show with an 84 rated angle. This one coming from my character being Shane McMahon, cutting a promo onto Dustin Rhodes. Dustin off screen, so just advancing the storyline. Very solid rating. I'm trying to keep the solid rating up so we can have a good high spots match, and I've put it pretty early on the card. I think we got, is it 3 angles or 2 angles and then the match? Something like that. Anyway, we then move straight into a 73 rated angle here from Buff Bagwell, cutting a promo onto what should have been his opponent at the pay-per-view, Super Crazy. He basically says that Super Crazy's too afraid. He's got himself involved in the tag team triple threat match for the world tag titles. And as a result, Buff is now without anything to do at the pay-per-view, despite him wanting to compete. And as per usual, giving a nice little flex there to the camera. As per usual, Buff's got the stuff. All right, we then go into our high spots match, and it actually does really well, considering we slightly built it up with those 2 previous ratings. Get a 61 here, where we have Shane Helms defeating Elix Skipper in 8:29 by pinfall with a vertebreaker. Just a good match, good cruiserweight match. I mean, Shane Helms is pretty much the only one we can actually use by himself in the cruiserweight division. Everybody else is considered unimportant, so therefore they essentially can't pit them against each other. Very frustrating, but it is what it is. We then go into a 64 rated angle where we have the champion Shane Helms, and he is beaten down by 3 count post-match. Of course, he will be taking on Shannon Moore at the pay-per-view for the World Cruiserweight title. And yeah, tag team beats him down, makes him look weak. And maybe there'll be a tag team match next week on the Go Home show. We then go into an 84 rated angle where we have both DDP and Stasiak on entertainment, without scripts to follow. So this is actually a really good angle for Stasiak. Very impressive. We have a war of words between New School Sean Stasiak, Old School Diamond Dallas Page, and they go back and forth about their match that they will be having at the pay-per-view Fall Brawl. And yeah, DDP says he needs to get a win back in the column to prove that, you know, he's still got what it takes. We then go into a Stasiak match, which gets a 62 rating. We have Sean Stasiak defeating CM Punk in 5:32 by pinfall with a fisherman's suplex. Good match. CM Punk getting better at his gimmick as well. His push will come. I think I'm not going to really sort of start pushing guys like AJ, CM Punk, Cena, Joe. I'm not going to start really pushing those guys until Starrcade or after Starrcade, come the new year, so like 2002. I think it's fitting of me to continue using the guys that would have been the mainstays in WCW had it stayed alive and had it continued with Shane McMahon essentially running things in the real world. It would have been good. And then as they went on and on, I'm sure they would have signed guys like Punk, like, well, Cena, obviously. Cena got signed to WWF regardless, or WWE. And yeah, it would have been good. It would have been good. And I think me paying homage to guys like Stasiak, who would have been the future of WCW, it's an important thing to do in this series. Anyway, we move on to a 71 rated angle where we have Chavo and Rob going back and forth with each other backstage. Chavo says he's going to become the new champion, and he says that, you know, Rob is going to lose tonight against Lance Storm, and he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens, despite it being a non-title match. Good rating. We then go straight into the World Tag Team title relinquishment by Palumbo and O'Haire. And then at the end of the angle, we have Buff Bagwell come out, stare down Sean O'Haire, bit of a flex off perhaps. And yeah, Sean O'Haire looks like he's essentially gotten the better. You know, the crowd's cheering for him. Palumbo's obviously on crutches or whatever. I can't remember what his injury was, but I think it was it a shoulder? He might be in a sling. Whatever his injury is, he's got the bandages or the strap up for whatever it is. But yeah, Sean O'Haire looks good in this angle, and obviously Buff looks a bit pissed off because somebody is essentially, you know, out flexing him, and it sort of makes him look a little bit weak, so he gets frustrated. 63 though, pretty good. Buff does have his hot catchphrase, despite being in poor form, or poor morale, whatever it is. Poor form. Yeah. Anyway, we then go into the third and final qualifying match where we have a 59 rating. We have Anguish defeating Fully Blooded Italians in 5:55 when Super Crazy pinned Tracy Smothers with a moonsault. And during the match, we also had Johnny the Bull come in and distract Guido, of course, leading to that pinfall, like I explained before. That's a really, really good match. Considering, I mean, Super Crazy's a little bit over, but everybody else is in the sort of like between 20 and maybe 29 popularity. So he's done well. I mean, Psychosis performed pretty averagely. Smothers, pretty low. Guido got a 54, which is actually higher than Super Crazy. Very interesting, that one. Very interesting indeed. And we move into an angle post-match where we get a 46. We have Johnny the Bull, and of course he's essentially laughing at Guido. Smothers looks really pissed off. Guido basically says that Johnny is going to be facing Tracy Smothers next week on the Go Home show, one-on-one. And Guido says, you know, he's not going to get involved. He gives him the old Italian gesture, shall we say, and yeah, they move on. I like this storyline. It's going to be, it's not just one and done at the pay-per-view, shall I say. There's going to be more to this one going forward. We then go to a 62 rated angle here from Dustin, essentially just getting a little bit of payback from what Shane McMahon said to kick the show off. Basically getting his licks back, getting some insults in, and making himself look a lot better than the way Shane was essentially describing him at the start of the show. We then go into a 6-man tag, bit of a throwaway match, but it's more just to get a Team Canada victory under the belts for these three here. 55 rated match. It's not terrible. It's really not that bad. And we have the team of Kevin Steen, PCO, and Mike Awesome defeating American Dragon, Brian Kendrick, and Colt Cabana in 5:36 when Kevin Steen pinned Colt Cabana with a package pile driver. Yeah, good stuff. It's a solid match rating, considering these three, they're essentially openers at this point. Steen's probably like a lower mid-carder. I would say PCO is probably also still a lower mid-carder based on his injury that he's had. And then Awesome's slightly above them in the mid-card. So, yeah, he did carry the match. He got a 52. American Dragon with a 50 there as well. We then go into a 60 rated match here where we have Vader defeating David Flair in 6:29, by pinfall with a Vader bomb. Vader was off his game as well. Just a nice little win there for Vader going into the pay-per-view. Still trying to build his momentum up a little bit. We then go into the pre-main event angle. It's actually quite bad, to be honest. We get a 53. We have Team Canada in their locker room backstage. Lance says, good work to the trio team for getting their win tonight. And then he says he's going to go out there tonight, get a win over the United States champion, and earn himself a US title shot. And hopefully bring that United States title back to Canada with him. The main event itself, the main event match, getting us a 79 rating. You had to know this match was going to be good. Essentially, the two competitors are very, very talented. And we have Lance Storm defeating Rob Van Dam in 15:49 by submission with a single-leg Boston Crab after interference from Chavo Guerrero. During the match, we also had Mike Awesome run in and attack RVD, and PCO also at ringside, distracting RVD. There's a lot going on in this match. It's pretty much overbooked. A lot going on. And all the distractions and the interferences as well from Awesome, from Chavo, have essentially cost Rob Van Dam this match. He couldn't really find a way as the underdog to fight back and to get back in the match. And as a result, he eventually taps out to Lance Storm's Boston Crab. Yeah, good match. Really good. 79, 85 in-ring there for Lance. 81 there for Rob Van Dam. So this could have essentially been even better had we potentially given it a longer run time, up to that 20-minute mark. So very, very happy with that. And we end the show with a 91 rated angle for essentially what is going to be the main event for the Go Home show. It's going to be some of our biggest stars involved in that one. Got Booker T, DDP, RVD, Canyon, Hennig, and Vader as well. So yeah, 91 rated. Vader looked dreadful, apparently, in the segment. He was rated on Menace. It is what it is. And as per usual, Booker T looking absolutely incredible. Everyone else was also unscripted for this one. So some good stuff there. And very happy to finish on a 91. Just the highest rating on the show so far, and we end it that way. Overall show rating gets us an 81 this week. Obviously a lot better than last episode. We do increase our popularity in all 14 regions as well, being the United States and, of course, those regions in Canada. Yeah, it was good. That was a good show. We needed that one. We do still lose to Raw is War, which is unfortunate. The WWF still putting out, they're putting out good matches. I mean, Big Show and William Regal defeating Chris Benoit and Kane doesn't really seem like it sort of deserves a 94, in my opinion. I think it's still a good match. Do I think it's a 94 rated match? Probably not. Probably not. Anyway, yeah, it is what it is. It's a good show. Fair play. They're in Madison Square Garden as well in the tri-state. So yeah, we won't worry about that one too much. Viewing figures a lot better than last week. You get a 1.16, so 870,000 viewers for the Nitro. Very happy with that. And yeah, we are essentially what? Oh, we're back up to 77 as well in the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. Very happy with that. And we're well on our way. We've got the Go Home show up next episode. And then in 12 days' time, we've got the pay-per-view. So 2 episodes. We've got Fall Brawl. One thing I will do that I did mention was we're going to vacate the title, the World Tag Team titles for Palumbo and O'Haire. It's unfortunate, but there we go. They have been vacated. They got 3 defenses in, so fair play to them. But they will unfortunately be taking a back seat as a result of that injury to Chuck Palumbo. Cool. All right, that is pretty much going to be it, guys. I'm going to take a quick little look at Johnny the Bull's popularity. 36s, still good. Got hot momentum, which I would love to get to white hot. Yeah, looking good. I wonder if, as a result of that loss, no, I don't think he did. I was going to say maybe RVD lost a bit of popularity, but it looks like he's actually gained popularity as a result of this month. So we're still in the positive. And like I said, next episode, we are going to be running the Go Home show in his home region, the Tri-State, where he has the most popularity, along with Super Crazy. It's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. If you enjoy the episode, drop a like, subscribe to the channel as well, guys. And apart from that, as always, take it easy and goodbye.